how'd you like to join me in doing a great thing? That's right, 1,000 before Thanksgiving. I'm trying to sell 1,000 copies of my books before Thanksgiving and take the proceeds from each book sold and donate those to local charities that help families in need for the holiday season. Go to www.columbuscody.com to grab your book or books, or if you don't need a book, just make a donation. Help me help others. All right, welcome back to the Living the Life show. I got a very special guest today. I got the one and only, the funny man, Rahn Hortman. How's it going, Rahn?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I am well. I'm well. I don't know. Should I call you Rahn or should I call you Mr. Horton?
No. Rahn is fine. Rahn is fine. I go by Rahn.
All right.
Now, I'm already feeling old.
You're already feeling old?
Yes, sir.
And I tell you, this is going to be funny.
November thing.
And look, mine is, I just shaved mine off, but you look like you catching me with the gray over there.
Man, listen, I call it platinum, first of all.
Okay.
That's platinum. And I didn't realize how much I had until I let it grow out.
Hey, well, I tell my students that this is because of them, and I call it wisdom. So it's not really age, it's wisdom. But my mom is probably one of my biggest fans. Probably your mom is your biggest fan as well. But she loves comedy. So this is probably going to be her favorite podcast that I've ever done. Every time I do one, she's like, baby, that was so good. I just love it. And then I told her I was going to interview you. And she was just like, I can't wait to see that one. So, yep, I got big shoes to fill.
Bar so high for me.
Hey, I'm telling you, she's going to love it no matter what. You could answer every question wrong and still get it right. But before we jump into today's meat, which I titled, Does God Have a Sense of Humor? But I like to always get to know the guest a little bit. So I throw some random quick fire questions. You got to answer them quick. Don't know the questions. So are you ready?
Ooh, I hope so.
All right. In 1975, who won the... No, I'm just kidding.
This is for the church.
All right. Who's your favorite comedian of all time?
I think I lost you. You here?
Yeah, I'm here. Favorite comedian of all time.
Woo! I got too many to say one favorite. Yeah, but I'll say Martin Lawrence got me to believing that I could do comedy.
Okay.
He was so comfortable with it. He made me feel like I knew who he was. And I was just a huge fan. Martin Lawrence, I'll say that.
Awesome. Martin, shout out to Martin. You so crazy.
Oh, I love Martin. Love him.
All right. Favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Dressing. I love dressing with cranberry sauce.
Okay. Now, homemade
dressing.
cranberry
Not
sauce
stuffing.
or... Right.
Dressing.
Trust me, I got you. When you said dressing, I was on point.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't stuffing.
All right. No stuffing. No offense to those that eat stuffing, but
yeah, normally when it's stuffing, we go, "Hey, what's this stuffing? What's this stuffing?" Yeah, that's what we say. We'll say, "What's this stuffing right here?" So, cranberry sauce, real or the canned? Does it have to be homemade cranberry sauce, or can it be canned cranberry sauce?
Now, with all due respect to every member in my family, my grandmothers on both sides, my wife, my mother, all my aunts, I didn't know you could make cranberry sauce. I thought it only came in the can. Oh. So I don't know any difference. I like ocean spray.
Okay, that'll work. You can't go wrong with it. All right, here's a tough one for you. Greatest advice another comedian ever gave you?
Okay, all right. When you have a set, always remember that it's never as good as you thought it was, but it's never as bad as you thought it was.
Oh, I like that. So don't get too high and never get too low.
Yes, sir.
All right. Which Bible character would you say you most relate to?
Ooh. That's tough right there. I wasn't ready for that one.
I know
it. Okay. Which disciple cut the ear off?
That's Peter.
Peter cut the ear off. Peter wasn't always right, but then he got right. Lord was still dealing with him. I'm gonna go with Peter because I got some issues.
I just want you to know you're like my fourth guest that's Peter. All right. And all of y'all for different reasons. My dad actually selected Peter, and he said it's because he likes to fuss and cuss. And and my dad is a retired pastor. So that goes to show you a lot of Peters in this world.
Okay.
A lot of Peters. So if you weren't doing comedy, what do you see yourself doing?
I wanted to be a teacher.
Really? What kind of what subject?
Ooh, I would probably say history.
Okay.
Not that I'm a big history buff, but I can read that and reiterate it.
Yeah.
And see, you know what I mean?
I'm a PE teacher, and I was getting ready to minor in history until I realized I don't want to take 18 more hours. For what? I want to get up out of here. So I didn't minor in history. I was this close. And I didn't like history till I got to college because I had a professor that just made it it was vivid. It came alive. So I get that. I get that.
Okay.
Now, were you an athlete at all in school?
I'd like to think that I was for about 6 weeks.
Oh no! You know what? I remember your joke now. In football, you were the flanker.
Yes, I was a real life flanker. My career ended because of Todd Lewis. So if Todd Lewis ever sees this,
wow,
he hit me so hard, and we was practicing.
Oh man,
I quit. I'm like, no, this is not for me.
That
this
was
is
enough.
not my call.
Yeah,
that was enough.
You know when God didn't call you for this one.
He did not call me for that. No.
All right, what's the best book you've ever read? And the Bible, you can't say the Bible. It's got to be a different book.
Oh, the best book I've ever read.
And see, I love asking this question because it gives me ideas of books I need to read.
This is tough, man, because the best book I've ever read. This is bad. I feel really bad because I'm a skimmer.
Okay.
Somebody just gave me, and it's not even a big book. It's called the E-Myth.
E-Myth.
Right. And it's about starting thinking outside of the box as pertaining to getting out your comfort zone with business.
Okay.
And I read a lot of things, but not solid books per se.
I got you.
I feel so I'm disappointed in my mother right now. Mom, I'm sorry. I need to do better.
Well, she's praying for you now. She's praying for you.
Now, I will tell you this. In my younger years, I'm not going to put my wife out there, but the girls was going through this thing where they was reading all these books from this dude named Carl Weber. These romantic gangster novel type books. And I read every one she read because I didn't want to be left out of what was going on in the world.
Yeah. You was trying to pick up some of those tips, huh?
Yeah, man, yeah. I mean, it was like gangster movies in a book form, and So
you was trying to pick up some of those romance tips. All right, so this is how he did it, right? Cedric walks in the room like this. Yeah. All right. So, what movie made you laugh the hardest? What movie made you just like that was your movie?
I got a lot because I'm goofy, but I'll probably say Coming to America.
And it's funny that you said that because I was thinking, I bet he's gonna say Coming to America.
Coming to America.
Yeah, that's a classic. You can't go wrong.
So many parts, many different parts. Like when dude fell down the stairs and his rent was due.
Yeah, and you that part there was a song that clip was in the song. I can't remember what song it is. It might be an Ice Cube song or something. I remember hearing that in somebody's song.
Really? I don't remember that.
It'll come to me as soon as this interview is over. Watch. All right. So I can't remember if I heard when you came on stage when I watched you online. No, they didn't show that. What would be your ideal song to walk on stage to?
Well, it changes with my mood, but one of my favorite songs, and it's really not a good walkout song because it's kind of slow, but the message is what I love. It's a song called Family Business by Kanye West on one of his older albums.
Family Business.
Yes.
So why'd you choose that one?
Because he talking about his family and how his grandmother was sick, and how his cousin went to jail, and just like real life stuff. But he said it's family business, and that's like the theme for me. I get my inspiration from my real life situations I went through with my family, friends per se, and that's how I come up with my material.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that too, so we may talk a little bit more about that. Last question before the good stuff. Okay. All right. Favorite place you've ever performed?
Wow. Ooh, that's tough. I'll tell you this, for whatever reason, when I go to Detroit, I think I was shocked with my style of that the embrace that I got from Detroit was overwhelming. Like I was totally shocked.
Yeah.
But I've been so many places and people show me so much love. And I mean, from performing in a bar with 3 people to a theater with over 7,000. So that's hard. Okay, you know what? I'll say Hawaii.
Did you actually perform in Hawaii, or you just say?
I performed in Hawaii.
Oh, all right. You ever done a spot on a cruise ship?
Yes, I have.
Did you like that?
I did. The only thing I didn't like about it is I did a cruise from it was like a 7-day cruise but it went back and forth from Florida to the Bahamas. So I had to stay on for 3 trips.
Oh, wow.
And going into it, they told me one thing, but when I got there, I had to realize it was like, okay, you got to do 3 different shows. The first show, 10 minutes. The second show, 10 minutes. The last show that you do is an hour. And in those 2 days, you can't repeat any jokes.
Oh, because the same crowd may come back.
They got the people going, and then they got the people coming back. So you have to switch stuff. And like mentally, I was almost afraid. Like, because going on, I thought I was doing 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then this getting into it, man, we talking an hour and a half, and they got to construct it, but it turned out great. But I don't like being trapped.
I got you.
That
constrained like that.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Messing with the creative juices.
Yes.
All right. So talk to me about when you decided to give Christ your heart. What was that like? Because I'm assuming you wasn't in church and the pastor cracked a joke and you know what? Well, I'm gonna follow Jesus now. What happened?
Well, my story is probably a little similar to yours. I grew up in a Church of God in Christ household. My father was a preacher, and so it was put in me very young, and it's just something that I've never been able to get away from. Like I gave my life to Christ when I was a kid. Like when we were, I had to say probably 10 or 11. They put that in us, and I mean, I may have made a mistake or 2 along, but
just 2.
I mean, who's counting? But you always end up. They say train a child in the way he should go. So it's in me, man. So my perception of church has changed through the years, but I honestly believe that they planted that seed, and that's what makes me who I am.
Did your daddy ever whoop you to scripture, like using scripture as he whooped you?
Yeah, he probably read it before. He didn't do it to the scripture. Now, my father was very different. Now, my father was a preacher, but did 10 years in the joint.
Okay.
So he taught us the streets and the Lord. So one day he'd come home, he'd be like, I'm gonna fight you like a man. You'd be like, oh, I'm sorry.
And then you're going to pray for forgiveness.
Then you're going to pray.
Yeah. That is hilarious. Now, do you still have both your parents? They still with us?
My story is so confusing. I have a biological father and I have a stepfather. My biological father's still here. That's what I call my pops.
Mm-hmm.
Right? My dad passed away about 11 years ago.
Okay.
And being a man now, I can appreciate the dynamic. First of all, I thank God that he was there for me and helped make me who I am. But, being young, I had some type of animosity because my biological father wasn't there.
Right.
But being a man now, I understand that, people make mistakes and I don't hold anything against them. We have an open door. And now when we talk, he might not even know it, but some days I just needed to talk to him and it'd be right on time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So he's kind of like Kevin Hart a little bit, with his dad.
A little bit. And unfortunately, that's a common theme in our
culture.
In our culture, man.
Mm-hmm. So. You're right. All right. So I told you I was titling today's show, Does God Have a Sense of Humor? What do you think about that statement? Does God have a sense of humor?
Absolutely, man.
What makes you say that?
Absolutely. If you look at life and the things that happen, sometimes you just have to laugh.
Mm.
Don't it say it in the Bible?
Yeah.
What it say?
Laughter's good for the soul. It's good medicine.
It's good medicine.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's in the Bible, man. Jesus is they have a sense of humor because they created everything.
Yeah.
And everybody don't have the gift to pull it out of situations. But when it's presented to you, like sometimes you gotta laugh. You have to laugh at yourself.
Right. Did you ever see there's a series called The Chosen? And it's something you could watch online. You can even download it on your phone and watch it. But it's about Jesus choosing his disciples. And they made it free. Like people would pay, like it's like pay it forward. You pay if you want to contribute. And it allows them to be able to show everybody this series for free. And so season 2 should be coming soon. But the cool thing about watching that series is watching how Jesus interacted with the disciples. And it just made them feel so much more real and down to earth. And you can only imagine Jesus cracking jokes and Jesus, it kind of takes you out of this such a mystical Jesus into a more personable Jesus. And, just like your homies, you're sitting around, y'all gonna make some jokes. You gonna talk about Peter's big feet or dude, man, don't nobody go in there for 35, 45 minutes, right? So it's just watching Jesus from that standpoint. It just makes me wonder, what makes God laugh? Just sitting back and look at him.
Man, because all jokes, they're based on some truth.
Mm-hmm.
So when you pull it out and you look at the whole world, everything's a contradiction. Like, I'm a gangster. I'm a real life gangster. Everybody know that. But I love puppies. Like, how can you be a gangster and you love puppies? Yeah, it's just funny.
I think it'd be funnier if you loved cats. Because look, I caught that part of your sketch when the cat dipped his hands in that water, man. I'm telling you, I was dying laughing.
I hate the cat, man. I hate the cat.
Now, were you always considered a jokester, or like did your teachers say, boy, look, you always up to something, or did you just grow into that?
Right now, I'm saying right now I'm 5'5". Like all through high school, I think I was 4'11". So I grew a little bit. People were like, man, Ron, you got tall. That's how short I was.
Hit that growth spurt.
So I heard every short joke in the world. Dudes picking me up in front of the hot chicks, trying to be funny. So I had to start thinking quick, and I'd be funny to keep people up off me.
Yeah.
And then once you get everybody going, it's addictive. I never would shut up. I used to get, my report card was good, but I got in trouble for the comments. Like he needs to practice self-discipline. He's always talking in the class, distracting others. I used to get whoopings for that. But I got good grades. But,
I don't see you to school to be no comedian.
Absolutely.
now mama's like, so what am I getting for Christmas? Them jokes paid off.
Ain't nothing funny about you. Well, tell me a joke. Tell me what you told the people in class. Make me laugh while she got the belt in her hand.
And look, and then you start telling, boy, shut up. Like, mama, do you want me to tell the joke or not? You tell me that joke. Now shut up. All right, now here's one I want you to think about, because I think about this often when it comes to comedians. A lot of them feel like they can't be funny and be clean. Why do you think that's such a difficult concept for a lot of comedians?
Well, I think it's difficult because, first of all, when people think, when they know you're a clean comic, they automatically think it's not going to be funny and it's going to be corny. And that's what they think. So it does take a different skill set, I'd say, to be funny without cursing. But you have to look at it like cursing, when it's used properly, is like putting the seasoning salt on it. So it's a great tool, but some people they take advantage of it. They use it when you don't have to. And to make a conscious decision not to go that route, you have to become clever, and you have to have a little something special so you can put seasoning on it where you can have a word that brings that shot. So you have to do it a little bit different. So that's why I think it's a little bit harder.
Yeah. So in essence, the dudes that are cussing is using ham hock, and the dudes that are clean is using smoked turkey.
You know what? I agree with that.
So you're like, man, I don't want no smoked turkey in my greens. I want some ham hock. But then you eat them greens like, actually, these are kind of good.
You see what I'm saying? That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
I don't eat pork, right? And people get pissed at me if I be like, oh no, I don't eat bacon. You don't eat bacon? I eat turkey bacon. Man, they be wanting to fight me.
That's blasphemy.
That ain't bacon. So it's the same thing.
No, technically, no. I can't agree with you on that one.
Oh, you one of them?
No. I haven't eaten meat since August 1st. All right. I've been trying to do better. I got to get this weight off me, right?
Wait a minute, brother. Listen, we in a pandemic, brother.
Hey,
you gonna stop eating meat during the pandemic?
Hey, I've been doing so much better. But bacon is not something I just had to have. I ate turkey bacon too, you know. But no, it's definitely not the same thing. That when you eat some swine bacon, you're gonna be like, now this is what bacon's supposed to taste like.
I will say it smells delicious. I will say that.
And it tastes delicious.
I haven't eaten swine since I've been like 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
So I don't swine at all.
Well, you ain't missing much. And it's probably helped your blood pressure.
Yeah, it smells good though. I'll give y'all that. I will give you that.
Now, the other day I had this weird dream, and I had a dream that I was getting ready to go to Hollywood and be in a movie, right? And they wanted me to be in a love scene. And I refused to do it, you know, because I didn't want to disrespect my wife. That's the way I looked at it. I didn't want to, The love scene was hot and heavy, you know. You remember the movie with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
You know, I've never seen that. I saw parts of it.
All right, you got to watch it. All right, but there's a scene in this movie where they have like the most heated love scene. And I looked at my wife and I told her, I said, I guarantee you that scene didn't stop at that. I guarantee you they messed around offset. Not long after that movie, Brad Pitt divorced his wife, Jennifer Aniston, and married Angelina Jolie.
It was like that?
Hey, I'm not saying I predicted everything, but when I saw that, I was like, there's no way these actors could be that hot and heavy and just stop. No, I can't say that. Some of them probably can.
And cut.
Right. And cut. I'll meet you in 30 minutes, right? But I was like, I couldn't go through with, and they were offering me more and more money in my dream, like to compromise and just hey, it's art, right? So I use this situation that happened in my life to ask you this question. I'm assuming the desire to jump into to compromise what you do and make it a little easier comes up at times. What makes you decide to still keep it clean?
Well, first of all, when I didn't start out saying that I'm gonna be clean,
Mm-hmm.
it just happened to be who I was. Like when I got on stage, in my mind, I was just thinking like, well, what if my mother came or my grandmother came? I want to be able to say what I want to say without them being offended.
Right.
And that's how it started. And then people around me started making a big deal about it. Like, dude, you need to curse. And I was like, oh no, I don't curse on stage, but you cut me off in the parking lot, it's gonna be a problem. And so the more people start like telling me like, man, if you stay clean, you'll work more and all that. It stuck with me, but that's not true though. Okay, in certain cases it is, but people getting booked for all of the movies and all that stuff, they're not clean. So
right.
I just say do what you do and be yourself as long as you're true to it.
Now, have you ever performed with Michael Jr.? You familiar with Michael Jr.?
I have not performed with him. I know who he is. I'm a fan. I didn't know about him. Somebody told me one day I had a show, and they're like, "Man, you funny. You kind of remind me of Michael Jr. Look him up." And I was like, "All right." And I looked him up. I'm like, "Man, this dude is funny."
Yeah, very funny.
He's funny, man. So I'm a fan, but I haven't had the pleasure yet. Looking forward to it one day.
Yep. Maybe one day I'll see you two on stage together. That'd be kind of cool.
That'll be dope.
That'd be kind of cool. All right, so I know they say you should never assume anything, but I'm assuming because the type of comedy you do, and you haven't had to deal with too many hecklers, have you?
False.
Okay. So being that you don't dog people out, there's something within you that tries to keep you grounded. How do you handle a heckler without doing them like the people that on TV do them?
Well, you can still do them that way without, first of all, I try to avoid it. Like, look, man, we're here to have a good time, whatever, chill out. But sometimes when people talk, it just comes out like I'm just gonna give you an example. There, I don't know if I can say this on Christian Zoom, but we we were doing the show, and everybody that went up before me, the guy was just heckling. It was in a little spot. It was called the Hip Hop Soda Shop in Tampa, right? And I was in this improv group called it's called Got Jokes, and so we would do the improv, and then at the end, one of us would do stand up. So I was doing stand up at the end of this particular week, and the guy was throwing ketchup packets at my friends, right? And so now it's my turn to get up. And the dude looked like he had just got out the joint. He had on one of those platinum FUBU shirts with Fat Albert on it. He had the braids, and some of the comebacks to shut up people it's kind of like when you on the playground. So I was like, man, can you please shut up, man? I don't know if I can say this on Christian Zoom, but I said it. I'm gonna put it in a nutshell. Basically, I told the brother that he's used to, running his mouth because he's a taste tester for flavored condoms. And the man got so upset. Like,
you hit him with a jailhouse joke.
Yes. He was so upset. And I was like, look, brother, listen, man, just enjoy yourself. Like, can I buy you a drink? And after the show, he was like, man, you embarrassed me in front of my wife and my daughter. And I'm like, brother, we just trying to tell jokes. And what did you think was gonna happen? And so I try not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do? But that's not my my goal.
Right.
Like, I got a friend. That's what he goes out there for. He wants somebody that he'll do it for an hour. He just
wow.
brother, You're just mean.
You need Jesus for real. So definitely, I was false for assuming you don't have to deal with hecklers. Everybody's got to deal with it if you're gonna be in this game.
You got to think about it though. I don't just do churches. I still do the clubs. I'm still in bars. I've done shows in places where like, God, please help me get up out of here. There's no way I should be in here trying to.
You would think though that security would come get a guy that's throwing ketchup packages on the stage.
See, that's the thing about comedy. See, comedy is the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to entertainment. People think they can do comedy anywhere. Like, brother, I've done, you know what? I got a great idea. We're going to have a comedy show, but we're not going to tell nobody we're going to have it. We're just going to have y'all show up and do a comedy show. Bro, that doesn't work.
Right.
But I've done them several times. So people think they can do comedy anywhere. So a lot of times it's not policed. So that's why when it's in a club setting or a theater, that's why it works out so much better because it's a controlled environment. Everybody's paying attention. Before COVID, they sitting close to each other because laughter is contagious. Because at first people are like, I don't know if I can laugh at that. I'm with my boss from work. If I laugh at that, they're going to think I'm a horrible person. Oh, he laughs, so now I can laugh. So
you've relaxed me. Thank you so much for laughing at that joke.
That's what it is.
Now, I caught your comedy at the Dry Bar on YouTube, and it had like almost 2 million views now. So 2 million people have been blessed by your comedy. What was it like? Wow. What was it like watching or performing for, I guess, in Utah? Because it seemed like everybody makes a Utah joke when they're on Dry Bar.
Well, it was Utah, the people were so nice that it was scary. Like, it felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. Like,
you was waiting on like Get Out, like it's Get Out. Like, hold on, which
yes. I was crossing the street and the car stopped and was like, go ahead. I was like, nah, you go. He was like, no, you go. That's how nice they are in Utah, man.
So you used to going, I'm not gonna slow down. One of us is gonna get hit. You or me.
And the people at Dry Bar was so nice, man. They treat you like a superstar. They put you in front of all these people on their platform, and you know I've been blessed by it. I can honestly say that.
Awesome.
Put me in front of people that usually don't see me.
Awesome. All right. So I was thinking about this when it comes to writing jokes. Right. It's funny because I've had students who have told me, Coach, you should do stand up. Right. That's what they've told me, and I said, one day I might just do an open mic one day and see if I can do this. I mean, I don't have aspirations for it, but see if I can do it. And so whenever a thought or a joke enters my mind, I type it in my phone or I do a voice memo. How do you normally do your stuff?
Man, first of all, Rahn Hortman, I'm gonna say this publicly. So to hold myself accountable, I need to get more organized. Man, I have jokes everywhere. I put them in my phone. I write them down. I have them on little pieces of paper. I have like 100 notebooks, and it's just a thought that'll come, and then you got to hurry up and write it down because you'll forget.
Definitely.
I've awakened out my sleep like, I got to write that down, and just to write it down. That's the best thing. The voice memo, I tried that for a long time, but just keep track of it, and then you'll do it. You'll do it.
So what was your favorite joke that you've ever wrote?
I think the best joke I've ever wrote was the one about my father. I think I peaked early with that one. I don't know if I ever write a better joke than that.
Which joke is that one?
Well, I have two fathers. I don't want to tell you the whole joke, but I got two fathers and both of their names is Robert. But I'm messing up the whole joke thinking because
I remember it from the Dry Bar as well. I remember that
the home and away jersey.
Yes, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that one right there.
You got them both the same Christmas gift. One was home, one was away. Right. And look, as a matter of fact, I think I listened to I walk in the morning. I go for about a 3-mile walk every morning, like 5:30 in the morning. And I was listening to your stand-up that morning, and when I was at the top of a hill when I got to that joke, and I laughed, and it took away the little bit of energy I needed left to get up that last bit of the hill. So I had to slow down, ruin my momentum. But that was hilarious because I can actually visualize, and I don't know why, because let me see, hold on. You said it was the Padres jersey. That's what it was.
Correct.
I'm going to tell you what I visualized was the Jets for some reason, green and white. But when you said Padres, I laughed hard again. I was like, Lord, this is hilarious. Because I actually started watching a guy on YouTube, and I think his name is the Joke Doctor or something like that. And he trains comedians on how to do comedy. And he was explaining how a joke is crafted. You know, you got, and he mentioned misdirection. And the moment he taught in that segment of the show about misdirection, it was like all of a sudden then when I watched comedians, I could see the structure of their joke. I was like, that is so cool, you know, to see how, especially like Dave Chappelle's like great at this. Like he takes you way over here and then boom, you're back over here. And that's what makes it so funny, you know.
The best at it.
Yeah.
He's the best at it. Yeah.
But it cracked me up because I was listening to, the first time I saw it, I was listening to a gentleman that lives here in Nashville. His name is B. Covington. B. Cov. I don't know if you ever heard him. Brian.
I think I met him once. We did a show at Zany's, matter of fact.
Okay, yeah, because he performs at Zany's often. And he was telling the joke about Michael Sam when he came to the league, you know, and he was the first gay dude to get drafted. And he was like, man, he started kissing his boyfriend. I was like, dude, can't you find a black boyfriend? And the whole setup made it seem like he was going to make a gay joke. And then he switched it to the race. And it was like, I literally saw the misdirection. And I was like, that made the joke so funny. And I was like, so there's a science to this more than people will ever think, you know.
When you like now, when we watch comedy, 80% of the time you don't even laugh. You're like, oh, that's a good joke.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that was good right there. So when they get a laugh out you, that means this on 10 because we busy watching the structure.
You guys are like coaches. You guys are over there critiquing stuff, you know.
Oh, that dude good. Oh yeah, that was nice.
He didn't cut out the outside corner on that one, boy. Man, I told you to block on the outside. You know, never satisfied.
That boy can read a defense. He can read them.
All right. So have you ever written a joke and you heard the Holy Spirit say, you can't perform that one?
I got like a book of those.
Those are not for you. You can't perform those.
I would say that being labeled a clean comic, a lot of my jokes are like right on the edge for people. So I've done churches, and depending on the type of church that it is, where they going crazy, they're like, this dude is gonna make it, he's hilarious. And I've done churches when they looking like so
hold on now, buddy.
So what I say, I pray every time I go up. Before I go up, I always pray. That's my thing. But all I really try to do is try to be myself. And I try to portray that. And I don't want to disrespect myself, my family, my people, anything that I stand for, I want to stand for it on stage and off stage.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my line. So I don't really do things that are too risque or anything like that. But I mean, there's been a few that were like, God will be like, nah, come on, man. That one's just for me and you in the house.
Don't take that one out. Yeah, don't take that one out. All right, so take me back to the first time you ever did stand up. The first time. What was that experience like?
Honestly, it was a great experience, which is kind of got me. That's what got me hooked, because normally it doesn't go that well. I moved to Tampa. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Please don't tell me you're a Packers fan. Please don't tell me you're a Packers fan.
Oh, they, of course.
Dang
it. Why?
I'm a Vikings fan. That's why I said, yeah. And my dad just called me.
This is over right now. We're done.
Look, it's funny you said it because I was getting ready to turn you up. But my dad literally just called me because I was born in Chicago and my dad's a Bears fan. We play the Bears in about 15 minutes. So he's calling me now. Yeah, I'm hoping you're right because but we ain't been playing well. I need this win. So I just muted him right now. I don't talk to you on game day, Pop. You know that.
You don't talk to your father. You don't disrespect your father on game day?
On game day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Unless we win. If we win, I'll call him later. I'll call him later.
Oh, that's weak as heck, man. That's weak right there, man.
I'm sorry, man. I'm one of those fans. I can dish it out, but I can't take it.
Now, I'll be honest. I'm not a super duper fan for any sports like that, because at the end of the day, I feel like if I sit down and watch the game, whoever I want to win is gonna lose. So
wow.
So
and
I
see,
just keep it moving.
I wish I could not care. This is the one thing in my life that has a control over me that I don't like. I don't like that I care when Minnesota loses and wins. Like when they lose, now I've gotten a lot better. You know, God has delivered me. I'm not gonna lie. But I used to be borderline depressed when my team lost. You know, and it's like I hate it too because I can't shake it. You know, it's like I need to not care, but I can't help it.
You one of them dudes that be talking to me and be telling me stats and stuff, and I really don't know what you're like. Yeah,
I don't share no stats. I don't share stats. Okay. I leave you alone on that stuff. But you know, I could tell you every time we lost that it cost me almost a heart attack. I can tell you that, literal heart attacks. You know,
you take them that seriously,
but I don't want to. That's the only thing. It's like, Lord, please let me stop caring. And it's like, it's like that's something that I have such a strong passion for, and I wish I didn't.
That's because you're a gym teacher, man.
You think so?
Yeah, man.
It's been since I was 10 years old. 10 years old, I've been loving Minnesota, and just I wish I could shake it. I can't.
Y'all stole Brett Favre from us too,
and wish you could have let y'all keep him because he cost me a Super Bowl. So you making me have those flashbacks. My PTSD acted up again.
Energy went good until we started talking about sports.
Right. Now you were finishing up telling me about the first time you did stand up. It went well. That's how you got hooked, and you was getting ready to finish telling me about that.
Well, I'm from Milwaukee, and so we moved to Tampa, and for years, I had told my wife, I said I could do it. We went to Atlanta, and we went to the Uptown Comedy Club, and we saw a comic, and I was like, man, I could do this. And they was like, anybody want to come up? We let somebody give you a few minutes before, and I was getting up. My wife and my cousin was like, no, you're not embarrassing us. They would not let me go. So when we moved to Tampa, I was homesick. I'm a very social person in Milwaukee. I can go anywhere. I know so many people. I can go to a concert by myself and I'll leave with 15 people. That's how small the city was. And that's what I had grown to know. So when I moved here, I didn't know anybody. I was homesick. And so I said, man, I can do this stand-up comedy now. If I'm horrible, ain't nobody gonna know. And she was like, all right. So I called the club. You had to have 10 people in order to get on stage. And I said, I just moved here. I don't know 10 people. And they said, well, all right, we'll let you on, but it's going to cost you $25. And I said, all right, I'm going to do it. But you won $100 if you won the open mic contest. I didn't win. I came in second place.
And this was your first time ever?
Very first time. So when I got off stage, the guy that was hosting, he said, hey, man, you pretty good. It's your first time in Tampa? I was like, that's my first time ever. He was like, no, I'm talking about doing comedy. Your first time in Tampa. I was like, no, this was my first time ever. So that was your first time on stage. I said, yes. He said, well, you keep doing it because you got something. I was hooked. I remember the first joke I told. No, that wasn't the first one. But I had this Hulk Hogan joke that I tried to do, and it bombed horribly, right? It was horrible. Like it was horrible. And the room was silent, right? Mm-hmm. So but I went on to the next one. I got him back, and it came in a second. But after that ride home, my wife was like, "What was you thinking about that Hulk Hogan thing, right?" And I was like, "Well, I thought."
Oh,
and
my goodness.
Bro, she laughed so hard. She was crying in the car. It was so bad.
Look, so she's one of your tough critics, then, huh?
Oh my! She don't laugh at nothing I do. Nothing. If I say, "Hey, babe, what you think about this?" And she was like,
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I mean, it's all right.
and the hardest part is when you see him laughing at somebody else. You're like, oh, you know.
That reminds me of that Chappelle show when he's like, Nick Cannon. I don't know if you remember that episode on the Chappelle show. It's like Nick Cannon. Like, man, forget Nick Cannon.
I love Chappelle show. Yes, I've seen everyone.
But it's funny you mentioned about bombing, because I was going to ask you about that, because I hear a lot of prominent and popular comedians say that everybody bombs, right? Everybody bombs. Tell me about a time you bombed so horribly, but you sensed like God was showing you something about yourself through that situation.
Well, I didn't see it at that time. One of the worst. I have several bombs I can tell you. You want a recent bomb or a classic bomb?
I want the classic.
All right. I got a write-up in the newspaper here. And I was all excited. I'm in the paper, whatever. It's a big deal. Then a high school, they reached out to me. They said, we want you to do our graduation dinner. And I'm like, okay. Amazing, right? So I'm excited, and they tell me they want me to do an hour, whatever. I'm like, all right, great.
An hour?
They wanted me to do an hour, right?
Good Lord.
So I'm like, great. The money was good. So here's the catch. The lady said, all right, here are 3 names. I want you to talk about these people, and they do this. Make sure some of your jokes has this in it. I said, okay, bro. I had about 15 minutes just on these 3 people. So I'm ready, right? I'm like, oh, yes, this is about to go down. So I go, they call me up. I'm doing my thing. I go right into these people. And I forget their name. They were the 3 amigos, and I'm telling these jokes. The lady's dying, right? But everybody else looking at me like
you just shot their best friend.
Yeah, like what? They're like, what is he talking about? So, bro, I'm like 20 minutes into talking about it, and I'm like, oh, she told me to do it. Why ain't nobody? Man, listen, they did this. That means come down. Like, okay, wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
I wrap it up. You know, they give me my check. It was so uncomfortable. They're like, yeah, thanks. So I'm like, what's that? Bruh, the people was her son and his friends. Nobody else at the school knew who these people were. And I'm up here telling jokes about the 3 amigos. And when he got his blue bike on his 5th birthday, who stubbed their toe? Huh?
She made her own son famous, huh?
Bro, it was horrible. My wife's sitting there with me with her purse. Looking just
She got her hand on her gun. She got her hand on her gun just in case someone gets out of hand. Wow. I bet after that, like, listen, I don't take any extra requests. I just tell me where to show up, and man, that's gotta be tough.
Bro, it was so like, you know, you feel, bro, it's a horrible feeling. Like it is horrible. You like, you embarrassed. You don't want to, it's like you want to hide your face. We left, and I was like, man, that was rough.
I
quit. She was like, no, that was her fault. She said, you did what she asked you to do. That's what they get. When they book you for who you are. And you don't forget that. Then we went to Red Lobster and I was all right.
So see, now I heard something there that shows the balance. So she told you the Hulk Hogan was horrible.
Oh, she told me.
But then she told you right there, listen, just be you. Forget about the rest. Bam. So you got the perfect balance there.
But you know, black women been doing that for years, though. They can call you ugly, but can't nobody else call you ugly, you know? That's all that is.
My wife better not call me ugly. Baby, if you watching this, don't you call me ugly. You call me a whole bunch of other stuff.
No, she supports me, man. She's been there, and like literally, like, man, it's a mental thing. And sometimes, you know, you beat yourself up. And she the person that's there, push me back out there. You're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
And you need that. You really need that.
Yeah, you gotta have that. Yeah. Gotta have that. So once COVID is over, what would be your dream venue?
Dream venue.
We're going back to Detroit.
You know what? I love Detroit. They showed me mad love, but you believe it or not, you know, one of my favorite places to perform.
Zany's in Nashville.
I love Zany's. Zany's is off the chain. Shouts out to all the Nashville comics. I go on the road with a comic based out of there, Henry Cho. I go on the road with him a lot. He's a Christian comic too.
Is he Asian guy?
Asian guy, yes.
Is he the one? I think I may have heard. Is he from like Knoxville though?
I think he's originally from Knoxville, but
okay. I think I've heard him before because his voice is so proper for him to be Asian. Like, yeah. See, I guess you can tell I listen to a lot of comedy.
Yes, sir.
Him. Yeah,
he's a good dude, man. That's one of my mentors. I give him that. You know.
So you were gonna say Huntsville,
Alabama. I love Huntsville, Alabama, man. They show me so much love in Huntsville, Alabama. I'd say my dream show would be we said a dream right now.
Right.
Would be me doing a theater in my home city in Milwaukee, a sold out theater with all my friends and family sitting way in the back so I can't see them.
Y'all can come, but y'all got to sit back
there. Way in the back. And I have an amazing show at home. That would be my dream show.
Awesome. That's going to happen too. I can feel it. All right. So I always like to finish each podcast with when I have a special guest with the same question. So who is the one person in your life that lived so much like Christ before you that it encouraged you to surrender your heart?
I'm gonna say my mother, man. My mother is she like me being who I am. I would say she is a Christian to a fault. Like
you caused her to pray a lot, huh?
Like yes, like some of the she's just a woman of God who she gave herself to God at when I was very young, and she had me young. She was 17 when I was born. So she gave herself to Christ, and she put that in us. I mean, man, she revivals and women's workshops and Charles Stanley, and I mean, just the whole. That's what my life was based on, and I'm not gonna say it's my mama, so she perfect to me, but I'm just gonna say she hasn't been perfect, but her example of loving the Lord has, like, I'm failing miserably compared to the work, the effort that she puts in. She get up every morning at like 5 a.m. and have prayer and then read her Bible and then go to work, do her thing. But then she might pop in at church when there's no COVID after that. And she's just dedicated her life to that.
To service, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll never be that good of a Christian.
Well, don't say never. Never say never. Let that be your inspiration. Let that be your inspiration.
So that's a deep question, man.
Shout out to moms for being a great example, shining your light and encouraging your son to do the same.
I want to say this. I know a lot of people that are, their light is shining bright. Shouts out to y'all, but this was my personal experience.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So before we sign out, go ahead and share all your social media that anybody who watches this or listens to it will have access to you, all your little social media handles.
My name is spelled different. It's at Rahn Hortman, RAHN HORTMAN. And if you put hashtag Granddaddy Fresh, that's GRANDDADDYFRESH, hashtag Granddaddy Fresh on any social media, it'll take you to me.
Granddaddy Fresh.
Yes.
Now, do you say Ara or R?
I say R, but both of my grandmamas say Ara. They both do.
Now, I know you're from Milwaukee originally.
Yes.
Your grandparents, because Milwaukee and Chicago, a lot of those people there migrated from Mississippi. Are your family from down south, your grandparents?
On my mother's side, they're from Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkadelphia, Melbourne. On my father's side, they're from Louisiana.
Okay, so you do have the southern roots.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Got the southern roots. Well, man,
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I said, your family from Mississippi?
I was born in Chicago, but yeah, pretty much. I mean, because my grandfather was born in Midnight, Mississippi.
Midnight, Mississippi.
Midnight. Yeah, I think it's like 9 people that live in that city. No, I think it's a super small town, but if you probably blink, you'd pass right by it. But I was born in Chicago, and then we moved to Mississippi when I was about 2. And then I moved to Arizona, New Mexico, Louisiana, back to New Mexico, and then to Tennessee. So I've been in Nashville since my junior year in high school.
Military?
No, I mean, I was in the military, but no, I always tell everybody asks that. And I said, no, my mom was running from the police, and they always look at me. They always look at me funny, like, for real? I said, nah, my mom loved to be around her sisters. So when they would get a good job, she would find a good job where they were, and then she would move us there too. So she loved to be around family. She was a very family-oriented person.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the reason why I moved around a lot, which I'm grateful for, because it allowed me to be around people that weren't always like me. So I value and love people,
Yeah.
I always thought I was going to marry a Hispanic woman because I love Mexican food. But my wife, she got me first. So I told her, she keep acting up, man. I'm about to go see Hannah or Maria.
Yeah, brother got options nowadays. Like, women need to know that.
Baby, if you listen to this, Ron made me do it. Ron made me do it. Man, it has been a pleasure hanging with you. And I pray that everybody who watches this or listens to it is blessed and encouraged. And I hope they continue to laugh. And I pray many, many blessings over your comedy in the future. And that one day you're going to get that show in Milwaukee at the theater, sold out theater.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, everybody. This is the Living the Life show. And you know what you got to do. You got to watch it, share it, and live it. Now let's get busy living the life.